Housing in Dallas has become ridiculously unaffordable, so I decided to do something about it. I scouted out the entire North Dallas area until I found 6 different cities with 5 builders with 5% interest rates. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Wendy Pennell here, and today we're talking about those 5% interest rate incentives that we're finding all over the Metroplex. It's time to dive into the suburbs north of Dallas, so let's get started. We began our North Dallas tour just above Lake Lavon in Princeton. Now, Princeton is within the very popular Collin County, and it definitely did not disappoint with interest rate deals. Princeton is growing at a solid 14% per year. Now, currently the population is 26,085, and at just over like 10 square miles, that gives Princeton a population density of around 2582. Now, I want to give you some context, right? So you can understand what that kind of density feels like. Princeton might actually feel pretty similar to what you'll find in Forney. It's slightly more populated than Prosper, which is just below 2,000, and it's quite a bit less populated than Plano, which is upwards of 4,000. But let's move on to what new construction looks like in Princeton. Well, new construction homes for sale in Princeton aren't staying on the market too long, with an average days on market of only 24. But don't give up hope, because on the flip side, Princeton has a pretty high number of current new construction active listings at 122. I mean, that's a whole lot of homes for sale at once in only 10 square miles. And like I said, when it comes to interest rate deals, Princeton did not disappoint. We actually found 3 different communities offering some pretty great deals. The first is a community called Winchester Crossing, and the builder is D.R. Horton. Now, as of now, they're offering 5.99% fixed interest rate for FHA loans, a 6.25% fixed rate for conventional loans, plus a $6,000 allowance towards closing costs, a $4,000 allowance in flex cash, and on top of this, they'll pay the title policy for you. And all of this, okay, but you do have to close before the end of the year. Now, if that's not realistic for you, you don't have to worry, because D.R. Horton is releasing these specials constantly. Now, a little bit about Winchester Crossing. It has 9 quick move-in homes for sale right now for you to choose from, and the amenities aren't all that shabby either. They have a community playground and a splash pad along with a resort-style pool, plus a really nice park to take the pups and the kiddos for a walk. Winchester Crossing isn't too far from affordability either, with a median sales price of $331,000. But before you decide if Winchester Crossing is right for you, let's go ahead and talk about Princeton schools for a second, right? Because you're definitely not going to be disappointed. Princeton ISD is A-rated by the Texas Education Agency, or what we call TEA. Plus, GreatSchools.org measures the percentage of all Princeton students scoring above average. And if you're liking the sound of Princeton so far, okay, you won't be disappointed, because 63% of all Princeton ISD students are scoring above average. Okay, I hear some of you saying though, you know, Wendy, this all sounds great, but isn't Princeton pretty far from Dallas? Well, yeah, okay, you would be right in saying that, all right? Princeton is just under an hour drive from downtown Dallas, but there's a much closer city hub in Frisco, and that's less than 40 minutes from Princeton. Well, now that you know everything you need to know about Princeton, let's talk about more of the deals they have to offer. The second community we stopped at in Princeton is called White Wing Trails, and they're also built by D.R. Horton. You know, and as you can probably guess, they're offering 5.99% for FHA loans, 6.25% for conventional loans, plus your $6K towards closing costs and your $4K in flex cash. Again, this incentive only applies to those homes that can close by the end of the year. Here's the really cool part though, 5.99% just wasn't enough for D.R. Horton out at White Wing Trails, okay? Their inventory homes are also eligible for an extra incentive, a 2-1 buy down with 3.99% rate for the first year, a 4.99% rate for the second year, and then a 5.99% rate for the following 3 to 30 years of the loan. Now, White Wing Trails currently has 28 active listings for sale. Now, not only is that a ton of options for you to choose from, but that's exactly the kind of overexposure we like to see for negotiations. Now, let me tell you what kind of amenities they'll have, okay? White Wing Trails comes with an amenity center, a playground for the kiddos, a pool, right? Because you're gonna need that here in Texas. It also has a baseball field, bocce ball court, walking and biking trails. The median sales price here is right around mid-range at $399,000. We're not done yet with Princeton. Our next stop in Princeton was a community called Lake Meadow by Centex. Now, Lake Meadow is offering a 30-year fixed rate at 5.75%. The deal is eligible only for certain inventory homes that contract after October 30 and close by the end of the year. Now, again, keep in mind, Centex is offering new specials constantly. Lake Meadow may not have quite as many amenities as some other communities, but they're definitely not hurting in the inventory department. They have 18 current homes for sale, so you're gonna have plenty of homes to choose from. And it's not that they don't have any amenities, okay? You'll still have like a community playground and some nice green space. Lake Meadow has a median sales price on the more affordable end at $340,000. Next up, we headed further west into Collin County and stopped in the city of McKinney. Now, McKinney isn't the up-and-coming young city like Princeton. Instead, it's well-established and more mature with like a smaller growth rate of around 2.8% per year. The population is on the higher side, which you would expect, right? With it being so close to major job hubs like Frisco. We're talking a population of around like 214,302. The population density is also in the mid to high range at 3,201 people per square mile. So what does new construction look like in a somewhat more established city? Well, lucky for you, new construction builders are still able to find plenty of space in McKinney for new communities. On top of that, they're actually able to sell them at a fairly quickly pace too. The average days on market for new construction listings in McKinney is 35 days. And when I say there are plenty of new communities, I mean there are currently 116 active new construction listings in McKinney. So pretty good stats when it comes to choices and motivating builders. On a slightly less positive note, it was a little harder finding interest rate incentives here. We did find a D.R. Horton neighborhood called Millstone, and they're offering the same incentive we've seen at all the other D.R. Horton communities. 5.99% for FHA and 6.25% for conventional if you can close by the end of the year. Plus, don't forget that little bit about the $6,000 towards closing costs, $4,000 in flex cash, and of course them paying the title policy. Millstone currently has 3 homes that'll be ready by the end of the year for this incentive. Now, when I call Millstone a neighborhood, that's just what I mean. Millstone doesn't have much in the way of amenities to offer, so for those of you who don't like the whole master plan community environment, this could be a really good fit for you. The median sales price isn't the most affordable, it's around $391,000, but that is on the lower end for new construction prices in McKinney. So what do you think? Is Millstone in McKinney right for you? Well, McKinney ISD is B rated by the TEA, and Great Schools shows that 25% of their students are scoring above average. But Millstone is actually in the Melissa School District, and Melissa actually has much better school ratings. It's A rated by the TEA, and Great Schools shows that 75% of their students are scoring above average. Now, one great thing about McKinney is that it's only a 40-minute drive to downtown Dallas and less than a 20-minute drive to Frisco. Moving on and heading north, we found ourselves in the city of Melissa. Now, Melissa is also in Collin County and is also growing at a pretty quick pace of 14% per year. The population is currently at 26,085, which gives the 11.5 square miles of the city a density of about 2,582 people per square mile. Now, as you might imagine, new construction in Melissa is pretty common, but unfortunately for the builders out in Melissa, the homes aren't selling as quickly as they might like. New construction homes in Melissa are staying on the market for an average of 49 days, and they also have 107 active new construction listings. So that is pretty good odds for all you buyers out there. In Melissa, we found Legacy Ranch by MI Homes. Now, MI Homes is offering a 5.75% fixed rate. Now, that rate is good for all 30 years on an FHA or VA loan. For conventional loans, the rate is 6.125%. Now, depending on the home, they may also throw in up to $5,000 towards your closing costs. So what is Legacy Ranch like? Well, it's a simple but quality kind of neighborhood. Right now it's offering 8 quick move-in homes for buyers to choose from. On the amenities side, you got a playground for the kiddos and a nice big green space for going on walks, right? The median sales price is a little higher. It's $600,000. If you're curious about why Melissa is so popular right now, I'm sure it has something to do with the schools out there. And like I said, Melissa ISD is highly acclaimed, and for good reason. It's A-rated by the TEA, and gradeschools.org shows that 75% of their students are scoring above average. Okay, those are some great statistics. And on top of all that, it's less than a 30-minute drive to Frisco for all of your big city needs, right? Now, the drive to downtown Dallas, it's not great, but it is doable, okay? It's like just under 50 minutes. Continuing on with our tour, we weren't finished heading north yet, so we took our next stop in Anna, where we found another fixed rate deal to share with you, okay? Just a quick drive north of Melissa. Anna is also in Collin County, and it's actually growing even faster than Melissa at 16% per year. Now, it's a good bit bigger than Melissa too. So even though Anna has a higher population at 27,376, the population density is almost 1,000 people less than Melissa. So Anna only has 1,705 people per square mile. So for those of you who enjoy a bit more of like an open rural feel, Anna might be a good fit for you. When it comes to new construction, homes in Anna are going quick at an average of only 15 days on the market. Now, that's a short turnover, but it isn't lowering the supply of new construction. Anna currently has 112 new construction active listings. So which of those 112 are going to give you the best deal? Well, after searching out all of Anna's new construction communities, we found the best deal at another D.R. Horton community called the Woods at Lindsay Place. And when you know it, they're offering the same deal we found at the other D.R. Horton communities. But here's the great part. The Woods at Lindsay Place is also eligible for that extra 2-1 buy down option that only some of the D.R. Horton communities are offering. So here are the details. The first year of your loan is at a seriously low fixed rate of only 3.99%. Then the second year is also pretty dang low, okay, 4.99%. And then the last 3 through 30 years of your loan are still way below the national interest rate right now at only 5.99%. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Now you do have to close on one of their houses before the end of the year, but the community currently has 11 inventory homes for sale that you can choose from. All right, I know you want to hear a little bit more about the Woods at Lindsay Place to see if it's right for you. Well, I'll tell you this. If you're someone looking for a master plan community, this isn't for you. Okay, the Woods at Lindsay Place is simply a neighborhood with great deals on new houses. Okay, that's it. Not much in the way of amenities. But at 3.99% interest rates and a median sales price of only $364,000, that's still something to be excited about. But we do need to talk about Anna ISD. Okay, the TEA rated it with a B, and the unfortunate news is gradeschools.org shows only 1% of students scoring above average. Good news, it's only a 40-minute commute from Frisco. So with Anna, you definitely have some pros and some cons to think about. Next up, we headed west on the map over to Providence Village. Now, Providence Village is in Denton County, and it has the benefit of being right next to Lake Louisville. It's pretty stable with a current growth rate like right at 0. Okay, that's a small suburb. Population is only 7,359, but it still has a population density as high as somewhere like Plano with 4,846 people per square mile. So if you like the idea of a bedroom community near a lake, all right, that's mostly made up of like new construction though, Providence Village will be what you're looking for, okay? New construction homes here are staying on the market for like an average of 67 days. And Providence Village really is mostly new construction communities in only, get this, 1.5 square miles, okay? There's still 23 current inventory homes for sale on the MLS, and of course we all know the MLS is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to new construction. All right, so what about deals in Providence Village? Well, we stopped at a community called Liberty at Providence, built by History Maker Homes, and they're offering a fixed rate. You do have to close by the end of the year. The rate is 5.99% for all 30 years of your loan. And the cool thing is that this deal actually applies to all History Maker communities in the Metroplex, except for just a few that are in closeout. Now, in order to close before the end of the year, Liberty at Providence currently has 3 inventory homes that'll be ready in time. It's a nice little community with a green space, splash pads, got a little pavilion for hosting events like, birthday parties. The median sales price is mid-range at $452,000. You'll find that the schools out there are also like mid-range. Providence Village falls under both Aubrey and Denton ISDs. Both are B-rated by the TEA, but Great Schools gives us a little more insight. Not so great in Aubrey. Okay, 1% of students in Aubrey ISD are scoring above average, while 19% of students in Denton ISD are scoring above average. When it comes to commute times, Liberty at Providence is within walking distance of the northern tip of Lake Louisville. It's also right in between 2 large cities, with Frisco about 30 minutes to the east and Denton only 20 minutes to the west. Next, we headed north and east over to Salina, and we were pretty happy with the deals we found here. Salina is also within Collin County, and it's very popular with those looking for new construction. In fact, Salina is growing at a rate of 34% per year. The current population is already 43,081, but surprisingly, the population density is totally uncrowded at only 1,542 people per square mile. When it comes to new construction, Salina and its neighbor Prosper are very highly regarded. Okay, homes are staying on the market for an average of 32 days, and, okay, get this, there are a whopping 190 active new construction listings. We made our way over to Green Meadows and found Castle Rock Communities offering a fantastic 2-1 buy down. Your first year starts out all the way down at 3.99%. Your second year bumps up just slightly to 4.99%, and then your last 3 to 30 years finishes out at 5.99%. Now, in a city this popular and a deal this great, you will be surprised that there are only 3 quick move-in homes left at Green Meadows by Castle Rock. Green Meadows isn't just a simple neighborhood either. It's the full-on master plan community with resort-style swimming pools and massive verandas. They also have an amphitheater, community gardens, numerous hike and bike trails. They have enough playgrounds for all the kiddos, and of course an amenity center. The median sales price of the community is right on par with new construction homes in Salina at $656,000. For those of you who haven't already fallen in love with Salina, here's a little more information about the city. Most students in Salina can go to either Prosper or Salina ISD. Both are A-rated by the TEA and both are highly acclaimed. Now, Green Meadows falls under Salina ISD, where 25% of students are scoring above average. Commute-wise, the nice thing about Salina is it's just a short 25-minute drive to Frisco. Now, if you have your sights set on Salina, you'll be glad to know we barely scratched the surface here on what it has to offer. In fact, we made an entire video spotlighting the best, lowest rates in town that you can watch right here. In the meantime, Wendy out.